heading down to the straights, you get some serious speed. So it's exciting. You just got to remember to keep pedaling.
Right.
My problem.
Now, what's your background, Jenna? I know you started in mountain bike. Is that correct?
Yeah. So I actually my first bike riding experience basically was downhill mountain biking. Out of high school, my brother had a downhill mountain bike, and he let me ride it, and it's just kind of from there I fell in love, started racing downhill mountain bikes.
Where are you from? Like, where in the country?
San Luis Obispo, California.
Okay.
So about 3 hours north of LA here.
That's a really greeny area. What kind of terrain were you riding on?
You know, the thing about slow, it's cool. It's so variable. Like, there's a lot of different terrain. The mountain bikes, the mountains around there are pretty rocky. So like steep, rocky, technical kind of loops. So it's different from around here, where it's kind of a little bit more hard packed and flowy.
Right. I was talking to some of the men Sunday. One of the riders was from Northern California. And I was asking him what the difference was, and he was saying that down here we've got a lot more dirt.
Yeah.
You know that kind of. Where up there they have more grass and more woodsy kind of an area.
Yeah.
So is that similar to how it is in San Luis Obispo?
San Luis Obispo's, well, Central Coast. No, we actually don't have a lot of really woodsy type stuff. It's just really, it's really wide open.
Wow, I thought you guys would.
Rocky, like loose, so just kind of like from small rocks to pretty decent sized boulders.
Oh, okay.
Kind of just loose, technical, like
jumping
stuff.
and riding around.
Yeah, just riding through.
Yeah,
basically.
but the downhill bikes, that's what the real suspension is for.
Right.
It's for clearance of all of that type of stuff, right?
Right. So it helps maneuver through it a lot easier than the sandy stuff. But we do have some stuff like in the coastal areas that are sandy regions and stuff. So there's a lot of different stuff in slow. I haven't explored around here as much.
You have not?
Just a few trails, but I haven't gone east, or mostly just in Santa Monica. So.
Right.
So were you competing in the downhill?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So I used to race for actually a local bike shop at home in slow, and then when I went to school at Cal Poly in San Luis Obispo and joined the Wheelmen, which is their racing team, and I raced downhill for them for a few years, collegiate. But, yeah.
Did you do well?
Actually, 2007 I won the national champs.
See, I told you, another champion right here.
Expert category, amateur still, but I won.
What's that differentiation? Expert in comparison to?
Or Cat 1, it would be considered now. So not professional national champion.
Okay.
But still, I mean, you're still competing with folks.
How would that happen? Like the professional?
I actually, so in mountain biking, you can't apply for a professional upgrade or license.
Okay.
So actually, after I won the national champs, I did get my professional license on the mountain bike, and that's just something, you kind of, with results, experience, you can upgrade to. Yeah, so I did that, but that's kind of where my downhill racing days started to fade.
And they faded because?
I started racing road bikes. In college, I got on the road bike, and I just was different. I found myself doing pretty well, having fun, and so...
So you were over the downhill?
No, but I was just trying something new. Something new.
And you can't continue to do them both really at the same time?
It's hard to do both, just because right now I'm primarily focusing on the road. It is hard to do both. I mean, I still ride mountain bikes all the time for fun, but racing downhill, you just have to carry a lot of confidence and...
Right.
There's a lot to think about.
It's a lot to think about, yeah.
There's a lot going on when you're going downhill.
Oh, yeah.
I rode, I won't even call it a downhill experience, but minimally down in Lake Mead.
Okay.
That when the day before, we rode around a little bit, and it was a mountain bike trail.
Yeah.
And I was on my Crux, which has no suspension whatsoever.
Yeah.
So, and a lot of loose gravel, a lot of really steep downhills that you wouldn't normally, it's not part of a normal cyclocross course.
No.
You know what I'm saying? So and there was a moment when I had to go down a hill, it must have been about 30 feet down, and they had all kind of grooves with all kind of major stones in it. And I was like, oh my God, it was so nerve-wracking because I was looking at the road and having to navigate between these boulders.
And then you've got death grip.
I got a major grip, and I'm in a weird position, and it was just, and the shock, taking it all on my wrists and forearms.
10
all in that same moment was so much, but it was fun.
It was a lot.
It was a lot of fun, but it was so intense. I mean, I imagine with the downhill bike it'd be a lot easier.
Yeah.
But it was just the concept of watch my feet position, you know, switch my gears for the upcoming hill.
Oh, certainly.
You know, all those things are a lot to think about. But again, a lot of fun. You know,
Yeah.
it for me, it's the same as riding on the street.
Yeah.
You know, a lot like, okay, I got a car left, I got a pothole ride, is there any nails or any glass? It's the same kind of a thing
Totally.
that I'm looking for, you know.
Yeah, it's just you're constantly.
Which I like. It's almost like coffee for me, you know. Like
Yeah.
a lot of times I think I'm gonna ride to a Starbucks, and then once I get to riding, I'm awake.
Yeah.
Because I've awoken because of all the things I start looking at. You know what I'm saying? Like, okay, I'm good now. I just gotta keep going.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So that's how I always do it.
It totally is. I mean, it's usually downhill runs are only like 5 minutes, but you're between, I mean, anywhere actually from 2 to 5 minutes, but you're sprinting and you're going over jumps, rock gardens. I mean,
how many people are you usually competing against during that?
Well, so
that's usually timed, isn't it?
It's timed. It's based off the clock, so it really varies. Women's fields are pretty small on the mountain bike side, or at least they have been downhill, but. You know, you'll go off in 30-second intervals, but you're on your own basically against the clock.
Okay.
So sometimes you will catch riders, or riders will catch you. But yeah, so you're at like 30-second to minute intervals between riders.
They're narrow courses, so there's not really room to be side by side.
No,
it's like usually about as wide as the wheel.
There are
almost.
other disciplines like four cross or dual slalom, which are, so if you think of like, if you've seen like BMX, you know, you've got 4 riders going against each other, or dual slalom is 2 riders. So they'll be on course at the same time, but it's a totally different format.
Oh,
so.
interesting.
And a little bit more space provided for them.
Yes, yeah.
So when you went to college, I'll give you a second, I just want to ask one question. When you went to college, did you get any kind of a scholarship to be on the team? Any kind of a financial aid for being on the cycling team? Did it kind of kick back in any way?
No.
Any preference, like choosing the classes? Did you get a priority on class selection?
Unfortunately, collegiate cycling is not considered, I'm not sure,
That's a
you call it
bummer.
in college, a varsity
I'm surprised
sport.
to hear that.
But you really don't get any privileges as a cyclist in college, unfortunately. So there are some schools around the country that like
it's a big deal.
cycling is there, and they recruit, but Cal Poly, no, unfortunately not. You just have to do it because you love it, and
I'm shocked.
it's tough.
I'm not shocked. It's if it doesn't draw a lot of people, it's hard for them to put a lot of money into it, which is usually the business justification for it versus appealing to the academic side.
Yeah.
If you're going to give us a scholarship here, you should give us a scholarship there. You know what I'm saying? That's how I feel. If the school has the resources to, they're good and shit. You know.
And it's difficult because I mean cyclists are such great athletes, but it's considered a club sport, so
right. Like it's a privilege almost.
Yeah.
Rowing was at Ohio State. Not that that has anything to do with anything, but rowing, the sport of rowing was considered a club at Ohio State, a very big school. I just was.
What do you mean a club?
Like she was referring to our cycling as it's a club.
Right, a small thing.
Yeah.
At a big, right.
Yeah, but rowing is like a pretty big thing. You would think.